here. So my name's Amy Gillett, and I am at the William Davidson Institute. We are headquartered at the University of Michigan in Ann Arbor. We are at the business school there. We are an independent nonprofit institute focused on emerging market countries. And I've been with the William Davidson Institute for about 20 years now. And I love running virtual exchange programs like this one, working with students all over the world. This is probably my 7th virtual exchange that I've helped organize, the 3rd one from the Stevens Initiative. And David and I love running these programs together. And yeah, so we'll be your hosts for the webinar today. We'll also be the force behind the scenes of the Climate Entrepreneurship Exchange, putting this all together for you. So turning it over to David to say hello.
Hey everyone, I'm David Estrada. I've been with the William Davidson Institute for almost 5 years now. This is my second time helping manage virtual exchanges like this one, and we're very excited to talk to you about this opportunity for undergraduate students. So we hope this is very useful for you.
Thank you, David. I'm going to
Mhm.
share my screen here and kick off the formal presentation. We would love to make this interactive. Please keep the chat room abuzz with questions and comments as we go. We're really here for you for the next hour to answer your questions, to see what's on your mind, to see what we can do to help enable this experience for you and to clear up any questions you might still have. And if you could put in the chat room now whether or not you've already applied to this program, that will help us see where you are in the process. So let us know if you've applied yet, or if you've wanted to hold off and see what's up at this webinar before doing so. We would just like to know where you're at in the process. So we are here for this information session. Just a little bit of background about the Climate Entrepreneurship Exchange and how this came about. So it is implemented by the William Davidson Institute at the University of Michigan by David and I and a whole team at WDI behind this. And it is supported by a grant by the J. Christopher Stevens Virtual Exchange Initiative. And this is an initiative of the United States Department of State, U.S. Department of State's Bureau of Educational and Cultural Affairs, which you might know as ECA. The program is administered by the Aspen Institute. So a whole strip of logos there, but bottom line is that this program is funded by the State Department in partnership with the Aspen Institute that works with the Stevens Initiative and that works with us. So we did receive a generous grant from this Aspen Institute Stevens Initiative to be able to offer this program at no charge. So you might be asking yourselves, what is virtual exchange? Which is a very good question. It's a relatively new field. It's somewhat like student exchange in its benefits, which is all about connecting people to learn about different cultures, making connections for you across cultures, and in this case, working together across cultures to get something done, to work on a project together, to learn together. And so formally here we have a definition, a program that uses technology to connect people from different cultures and locations to collaborate, learn, and build global relationships. And a note here that unlike traditional exchange programs, virtual exchange programs take place online. So you'll be working online on this program over 8 weeks. And overview of the program. So what's happening? So this is an online program. It's a certificate program that will, at the end of the 8 weeks, people who go through the program successfully will receive a certificate. We're focused on climate entrepreneurship. And as noted, this program is made possible by a grant from the Stevens Initiative. In terms of eligibility, we're letting eligible students are undergraduates from the schools listed here. So University of Michigan, 2 campuses, Ann Arbor and Dearborn, Eastern Michigan University, Wayne State University, and Michigan State University. That's on the US side. I believe we have some people on this webinar from other countries as well, from our partner countries, which are Egypt, Libya, and Morocco. We are also allowing in students from various universities from those 3 countries, as long as they're undergraduates at the time of enrollment. And I must say that in addition to being undergrads, we're letting in any students from any major. We hope to have a wide variety of majors. As a student in this program, as a participant, you'll work with peers in Michigan from the other campuses that we talked about, from Egypt, Libya, and Morocco. You'll be put in small teams of 8 from the get-go. So from the first week, you'll meet your teammates, and you'll be introduced to your mentor, and you'll be working with those folks throughout the 8 weeks. You'll identify a climate issue in one of the North African countries, and you'll create a business concept to address it. And that's the big picture. We're going to give you all the tools you need to be able to do that. So we have online learning content that's very easy to follow and digestible that you'll go through week by week under our guidance that will help you be able to accomplish this goal. At the end of the 8 weeks, towards the end, you'll be making a video pitch. So it's a 5-minute pitch video that talks about what the issue is that you've identified and what business or service you've created in your team to address it. And you'll use a lot of the principles and tools that we introduce over the 8 weeks to be able to do that. So at the end of each of the cohorts, we will have a competition, and we will have judges, and we will have 3 winners from each of the 4 cohorts at the end. The top winner from each of the 4 cohorts will go on to a final round of pitch competition with students from all of the cohorts, and the top 2 teams from those 4 teams will be eligible to win a trip. So US students will go to Morocco for a week to learn about entrepreneurship and explore Moroccan culture. And we will host the students from the North African winning teams in Ann Arbor and Detroit for a week. And we hope that all the students will participate when the North African students visit the campuses, and we welcome that. So that'll be a very exciting time for us. But that comes at the very end of this program. So what happens each week? Well, each week you'll explore interactive online learning modules that are very engaging, that are very easy to fit into your busy schedules. They're, even if you have 10, 15 minutes to learn at a time, you'll find something on our portal that you'll be able to follow, and will be entertaining and hopefully enjoyable for you. Every week, we'll also have a live webinar featuring a global expert. And we've got experts lined up from all over the world, and they're talking about climate innovation issues. And those we'll encourage you to come to the webinar live, but if you can't come, they will be recorded and sent to you as well. And every week, you'll also be working with your teammates to design that climate business solution we discussed, and making that joint video pitch together with your teammates. So that's what happens kind of week by week over your 8-week journey. The program will run 4 times. So the first cohort is kicking off in mid-February 2025. We do encourage you, especially if you're interested in cohort 1, to apply now. The deadline is December 20th. If you're looking at one of the other later cohorts, you can most likely wait until January to apply. These may still continue to have openings, but cohort 1 is filling up fast. So if that's what you're interested in, please meet the December 20th deadline, and really the sooner the better. If you apply within the next few days, you'll get word before the break about your acceptance, and then you can put this in your schedule and plan. So David is going to talk to you about the nuts and bolts of applying.
Thanks, Amy. Yeah, so if you still haven't applied, and just like Amy mentioned, this is no cost to apply. This is a free program thanks to the generous grant from the Stevens Initiative. And like Amy also mentioned, this program is open to all students from all majors, as long as you're an undergraduate student. And if you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to visit our program website, climate-entrepreneurs.org. And there you will see a button to apply for the program itself. It's a very simple Qualtrics application that just gathers general information, and also asks you to answer a couple of prompts about the programs, such as kind of what your interests are in this program, what are your goals to get out of this program, things like that. And as Amy also mentioned, our first round of applications will close on December 20th. Which is coming up soon. And we understand classes will be ending soon and finals are coming up as well. But there's still time to apply. The application itself takes about 10-ish minutes or so. Um, and it's pretty straightforward. And also, we are admitting students on a rolling basis. So if you apply, you will hear from us within 2 or 3 weeks after the fact. So in the application itself, you are able to rank the cohort of your choice. Like Amy mentioned, this will be offered 4 times. And so we have the first cohort in the winter semester of 2025, second in the fall of 2025, and then in the spring and winter of 2026, there will be 2 cohorts there as well. And so you're able to rank those in the application itself. And once you apply, so what happens after? You will receive a response from us within 2 or 3 weeks, either that you're accepted into the program or maybe we filled up for the cohort that you chose, and maybe you'll be put in the wait list. Either way, you will hear from us. Um, uh, for the cohort 1, our December 20th deadline is there. And also in the email you receive from us, if you're accepted into the program, it will have a link to a commitment survey that we will ask you to complete also by December 20th. But if you apply, like let's say by December 19th, then you'll still like hear from us with the application status. So don't worry too much about that. And then just like I said, once you've committed, you'll receive also a short pre-program survey, and this is to help us measure and show the impact of the program, which our funder wants to see. Like they want to see what these programs that they're funding kind of has for the undergraduate population that are involved in these programs. Oh, and then so what are the benefits of participating in the program like this? So, as Amy mentioned, we are putting together students from the US here in Southeast Michigan, and from Libya, Egypt, and Morocco. And so you'll have the opportunity to kind of collaborate, work together, network with your peers from these institutions and universities. And that's a great benefit for all of you because you can kind of just get to know each other's different perspective, things like that. A major benefit is that we hope that you'll have an enhanced climate awareness. So what are the impacts and the urgent issues around this problem that we hope that you'll be tackling in the program itself. Um, we hope that you will be developing skills in climate entrepreneurship, just learning how to create innovative solutions. Um, we also hope that you will improve your ability to effectively work across cultures. It's one thing to work across cultures when it's in person, but then doing it online virtually adds another layer that you'll work together to kind of um, mitigate on your own, which is part of the experience as well. And also just being exposed to international perspectives such as this will maybe kind of convince you that you want to be in the climate entrepreneurship space, or maybe that you want to be involved in international relations or just international, uh, just having an international career because of this program and just the different perspectives that you were exposed to. And again, completing this program, you'll be able to showcase that either on your resume or even on your LinkedIn profile. So what are the benefits of completing this program in particular? So one of the great benefits is that you will be joining the State Department Exchange Alumni Network. And this is only if you complete the program, meaning that you complete the assignments, that you take part in the pitch competition, that you're an active participant in the program itself. You also join Localize, which is a professional development platform that was developed by the funder, and it's only for students who are completing the program, where you have access to opportunities um, such as the Stevens Initiative Alumni Fellowship. And again, these are only for students who are in this alumni network. And in this network itself, you'll be receiving also just more opportunities, other fellowships, other perhaps job opportunities, perhaps study opportunities, but it's only for students who are in this network itself.
So thank you, David.
Yeah.
And we're going to turn it over to you now for some questions. So let's see here. Mackenzie has raised a hand. Oh, we should. So Mackenzie, would you be able to speak? Chris, can we help get Mackenzie to say something? Oh, hi, Mackenzie. I think you unmuted successfully. Please.
Okay. Yeah, I just had a question. First of all, thank you for this presentation. I was wondering, so I'm a senior, and I know you mentioned that we have to rank the cohorts. I was just wondering for the first cohort, if you were prioritizing people who are graduating and won't be able to participate in the other cohorts.
Yes, we will do that.
Yeah, because
there is a yes.
we want to make this possible for as many people as we can. So if you're on your fourth year and as an undergrad and you want to apply, just rank that as your first choice and then rank the others that you are unable to attend, or I believe the option is you're not eligible for those cohorts anymore. So just put cohort 1 as your top choice.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mackenzie. We had a question about how to find that apply now button. I've just put in the chat room the website link, climate dash or hyphen entrepreneurs.org.
Yeah.
The hyphen, and that will take you to the page, our website, and there you'll find the apply now button. David, can you put a link directly to the application into the chat room as well? Okay. Oh, thank you. I see we have Yakuta also providing a link. Awesome. Thank you. Okay. A lot of people have applied. Some people are thinking about it. Oh, we have somebody on the call from Morocco. Welcome. We're very happy to see you here. Okay. So let's see here. Great. Now we have the link directly to the application up in the chat room. And again, that should take you about 10 minutes to complete. If you don't complete it in one sitting, you can return and complete it later if you're in a time crunch, but you can get started on that now. Okay, other questions that we have. Okay, I see in the Q&A, somebody is asking about student experiences from previous virtual exchanges. And David, can you put into the chat the links to our blog as well as the Stevens Impact stories? So because this is our third Stevens Initiative Virtual Exchange, we have been capturing student experiences from similar programs that we can share with you. And so you can get a little bit more flavor about what it's like to actually go through a program like this and what the benefits are from the student's perspective. We do know that students make long-lasting linkages with their teammates. In some cases, we'll go visit them on their own time, traveling to another country, or stay in touch virtually with their teammates for a long time. Many students have really found new career opportunities by going through our programs. So the linkages, many students have just found working with students in other countries to be extremely rewarding and eye-opening. And some students have pointed out that, when you go study abroad, obviously study abroad is wonderful, but you don't always get that automatic interaction and opportunity to collaborate with students on the ground, local students. And in this program, from the get-go, you've got a network of students from other countries that you're working with throughout the 8 weeks. So we do the facilitation of putting you together with those cross-cultural students and then giving you kind of the framework to work together over the 8 weeks successfully on a project. We have a question from Elizabeth. What has been the most rewarding part of running this program over the past 3 years? Thank you, Elizabeth. That's a fantastic question. So in terms of running virtual exchange programs over the past few years more broadly, it's been very rewarding to see these new connections that have been created that I talked about across cultures. And just the sheer amount of learning is phenomenal. I mean, just learning so much about both the content that we're teaching, so about entrepreneurship, in this case about climate entrepreneurship as well, but also all of the soft skills that you develop along the journey. Those include things like being able to work on a virtual team, which is a critical 21st century skill. Employers want to know that you're able to do that. And this program definitely gives you that experience. And just learning so much about different cultures that you wouldn't learn if you're not in a program like this. So we have a question about how many teams are in each cohort. So there will be teams of people will work in teams of 8, and I think we'll have about 35 teams in each of the cohorts, each of the 4 cohorts. Each team will be assigned a mentor that will work with them on a week-by-week basis to really facilitate team interactions and to help with this final project, to give perspective on, are we on the right path? Have we selected a problem that's meaningful? Is this solution going to be feasible, and all of that. And also, David and I will be in touch with you every week. We'll be every day, really, managing things on the back end. And every Friday, you'll be hearing from us with an email about your progress, how things are going in the program, and what to look forward to the following week. So you really be on a journey together, really every day. And we'll all be looking at the same content week by week, and you'll be working in your small teams every week as well. Awesome. Ooh, someone just submitted an application. Fantastic. That's great news. We can't wait to look at that. Thank you, Kari. What other questions do we have? These are great questions. We want to make sure we answer everybody's question. Victoria is asking, is the selection of the prize trip to Morocco happening at the end of 2026? If it's the end of all cohorts, what would the terms of the trip be in this case? Okay, so this is another great question. So just by virtue of the fact that we do have 4 cohorts, and that we need to give everybody a chance to go through complete those 4 cohorts and then have the final pitch competition, there is a bit of a lag if you're in cohort 1 between now and that final trip. We realize that. But the trip to Morocco will be in August of 2026 for the members of the top 2 winning teams, for the US members of the top 2 winning teams. And so, yes, there is a little bit of a lag. Do you mind going over how many hours per week you think you will spend on the project? Okay, so that's another great question. So depending on where you are in the program, which week you're in, the time commitment may vary a little bit, but we estimate about 5 to 7 hours a week you'll be spending on this program overall. As you get into working on your video pitch with your teammates, that might be a little bit on the higher end of that spectrum, because you're putting together this video and working and finding time to collaborate with your teammates in other countries. So the second half, it may be a little on the heavier side of that. How do you judge teams from cohort 1 against teams from cohort 4? Another great question. So this is how it's going to work. At the end of each of the 4 cohorts, so if you're in cohort 1, you'll have your pitch competition. We'll have judges from various countries represented, and we'll identify top 3 winning teams. The judges will have a rubric, and we'll be telling you what we're looking for, so that it should be no surprise to you how we're evaluating these pitches. There'll be 3 winners. Those winners will all get certificates. The top winner from those 3 will move on to the second and final round of the pitch competition. So cohort 1, 2, 3, and 4 will all have a top team that rated the highest. Those 4 will have their final pitches and will again be judged, and the top 2 of those 4 will be awarded the study trips. So that's kind of how all of that works. Great questions. Keep them coming. We also, by the way, have an FAQ section on the climateentrepreneurs.org site that has a whole bunch more questions in case you're still have some things that we didn't get to, they might be answered there as well. Or of course, you can reach out to us. David, can you put your email address just in the chat room, just for people that may have a question that arises in an hour when we're off this call and they think, oh, I should have asked that. Feel free to reach out. We're happy to answer questions after this webinar as well. How many people apply per each cohort? So that will really vary. I would say we are kind of filling cohort by cohort, and we still have room in all of the cohorts. So we don't know what the final numbers will look like. So far, we've had several hundred applicants across the countries, but we do still have room for students in Morocco and for students in the US. I know those are the two countries represented on this call. We still have space available. And if you're looking at this and you like what you hear, please do apply as soon as possible. You will get your confirmed spot. And you know, even if it's for cohort 3 and you're planning in advance, it would be nice to be able to get that on your calendar and know that you've got that space secured. Okay, what other questions do we have? Let's see here. Time commitment was in the Q&A. We talked about that. Okay, do we have any, let's see, reactions from the students about the program? You can feel free to put that in the chat room. What you're excited about about this program, or maybe what you're concerned about. We have any reactions? We would love to see those as well. Okay, not seeing a lot of other questions. So just to recap. Oh, nice. We have a really nice report from Yakota here about virtual exchange and the benefits from the student perspective from our colleague Yakota here at WDI. Thank you. This is a fantastic report that I encourage you to check out, and it does talk about some of the specific benefits from the student side and what students felt about going through the program. So this would give you a flavor of the kind of benefits that you could expect. Okay, so to recap here, if you're thinking about doing the program and you're serious about it, please apply as soon as possible, definitely by December 20th, earlier if you want to have your plans firmed up by the break. If there's space available in the cohorts in January, we'll reopen the application process, but we do expect cohort 1 to fill up by the end of this year. So if that's of interest, please do check it out. And David, we have your email address. Thank you for supplying that. If you have any questions about the program remaining that we didn't get to or that occur to you later, please message David. And David, do you have any final words here?
No, just we are here to answer any questions. If you are just nervous about the program, maybe you just kind of need more clarifying information, just send them my way and I'd be happy to answer those questions. We want to make this program as straightforward, as accessible as we can to students, and also make it impactful for you because it is an extracurricular program. So we understand the like what goes into that and the concerns that you might have surrounding that. So we are here to help. So just send over your questions if you have any.
Thank you, David.
Yeah.
Perfect. Great. So with that, I think we can close this out. We are really looking forward to getting to know you. We'll be looking out for your applications or your emails. And thank you, Scott. Thank you, everybody. This has been a pleasure,
Yeah,
and we hope to stay in touch. Take care, everyone.
All right.
Bye-bye.